Ready?
Yeah.
Have you guys ever met anyone who's been diagnosed with postpartum depression?
No. I haven't, no.
I haven't either, and yet somehow it affects every 1 in 7 women. And undiagnosed postpartum depression is observed in 50% of new mothers. Postpartum depression is often mistaken for baby blues at first, but symptoms of postpartum depression are much more intense and can last for much longer. So in order to understand the severity of postpartum depression, I wanted to introduce you guys to someone who went through postpartum depression and came out the other end. So, Lizette was a new mother. She had just had her baby girl, and soon after she went to the doctor, and the doctor told her she just had baby blues and to go back to work at 3 months postpartum. She struggled in silence for much longer, having suicidal ideation, having some anxiety, and the thought that they would take her baby from her if she were to speak up about her issues. So she went months and months and finally found a support group and some more friends who were going through it, but her issues were still going on. 6 months postpartum, she finally got the courage to talk to her doctor to get the medication she needed, and she came out the other end and is still advocating for postpartum moms to this day. So why do I think it's important for postpartum mothers to have more solutions than Lizette did? Because 1, it can be more than depression sometimes. There are 4 levels of postpartum, including peripartum depression. Depression can occur during pregnancy, which is peripartum, and that causes preterm birth, low birth weight, and impaired maternal infant bonding. Then there's baby blues, which is completely normal and affects every 3 of 4 women after delivery. This can last a week or 2 and can cause mood swings. And then there's postpartum depression, which can last several months, interfere with the caring of your child and the bond between you and your baby. It can also make you feel hopeless. And there's postpartum psychosis, which requires emergency attention, affects 1 in every 1,000 cases of postpartum depression, can result in mania, cause hallucinations and paranoia, and can make you have attempts to harm yourself and your child. Number 2, because it can affect your child's health. This is because you may have thoughts of harming yourself and your infant. It can affect the bond between mom and baby. And then children that are at higher risk for obesity and developmental delays when they have a parent who went through postpartum depression. That can be underdeveloped language and social skills and make them have behavioral and learning disorders. So my solution to this problem when I brainstormed was universal and required education for new parents. This would include postpartum depression warning signs, symptoms, and actions to take when it's noticed. The symptoms would be feeling sad, numb, and hopeless, losing interest in things that once brought you joy, irritability and anger, difficulty bonding with your baby, intrusive thoughts and suicidal thoughts, insomnia, and feeling like you're a horrible parent. So this education would be by sit-down classes and online courses, which I think would have 7 different topics and modules. Those would be number 1, baby blues versus postpartum depression signs, how postpartum depression affects people in different ways, who's at risk of postpartum depression or just risk factors, creating a postpartum mental health plan, how partners can be helpful, and red flags and signs of urgent medical intervention. I also thought of a text message program which you would just opt in or out of, which would have encouraging and educational messages from parents once daily or however many times they want to opt in. I think that this solution is needed because postpartum depression can and will affect both mom and baby, mentally and physically. Postpartum depression can lead to psychosis and suicidal ideation. Women with postpartum depression are at high risk for long-term depression, and it's important to be educated on this disorder before it's too late, and it will help women struggling in silence. So, in conclusion, postpartum depression is much more common than people realize. And maybe if Lizette had had these things to help her, these resources, this solution that I thought of, maybe she wouldn't have had to suffer in silence for so long. The end. How long is that?